Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Minute, a daily podcast in which we smash apart the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 1-minute chunks so we can analyze them in scrupulous detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Road to Infinity podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco. And have you considered your plan for when you're being chased?
Occasionally I do, because this happens so often in movies, and my thing is basically like, go somewhere no one would expect you to be and stay there.
Right?
Like, my thing is always like, there's always chase, because they see you running. But like, the rabbit is like, I was born in the year of the rabbit, so I have an affinity for rabbits. The rabbit knows to run and to stay still. Because a lot of times, like we learned from Jurassic Park, the T-Rex's eyesight is based on movement, even though that was disproven later on.
Right.
But like, to go somewhere they wouldn't be and just sit down and wait. It's the hardest thing when your blood's pumping and the people are coming after you.
Right.
But like,
exactly.
The people aren't going to expect you to be sitting having tea.
Now, see,
you know?
okay, now that's one good way.
Okay, so what's yours?
So mine is, now, since I am I have a running adverse stature. I'm not going to run. I'm a large person, right? So my always thought is my reaction is always going to be mountain lion. Like, you know, they always say, like, if you're out in the woods and you see a mountain lion or a bear, make yourself look as big as you can, stand your ground, and just be like, right? That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when you see those videos online of like those guys who like they have the person dress up as like Slender Man and they walk out from like behind like a dark parking structure, and the people always like fall over themselves. I'm like, oh no, I go towards the guy. And I'm like, guess what? This is happening.
Yeah.
It's on.
Right.
Don't like.
Some of the videos that are out there are not as popular ones, but like when someone will pop out and then the person will just punch them, just like take a swing at them, like it's Freddy Krueger, blam, and they just drop them to the ground.
Or you're like on Ellen. You're like an Ellen DeGeneres show. And every once in a while, she has the person hiding in the box between the two couches.
Yeah.
And like every once in a while, that person gets it in the face. Like, you can't.
I know. I hope there's hazard pay for the people who work on Ellen.
Okay, why did I bring this up? Because the chase is afoot.
The chase is on. Yeah. I mean, we're going. So as the camera pans up down Bruce running down the dark hallway, it turns out that he's right outside the bottling plant.
Oh, so we're at minute 22.
Minute 22.
And
the minute 22 of Louis Leterrier's Incredible Hulk. I forgot to do the intro. I got so excited about the chase.
Right? The chase?
Right?
I got you.
Right.
So here we are. So we realize now the big reveal. Oh, we're going to the bottling plant.
We're going to the bottling plant. That's right. So the camera pans up and we see it. This is actually, as we mentioned previously, this is the Bering Chocolate Factory in Rio's Santo Cristo neighborhood. This was condemned. So they were actually allowed to shoot outside it. They're not allowed to shoot inside it because it was going. And it is now gone. It has been knocked down since then. But this is interesting because this is some of the last stuff we're going to see in Rio proper in these next couple of minutes, where we're sort of wrapping up our time in Rio. So as we go on, we now, the Tufts are now 4. There were 3 before. We saw a brief glimpse of him in minute 21, but now we get to see proper. This is the man in white. This is Raimundo Camargo Nascimento. No relation to Deborah Nascimento, except maybe in distant relations, who, of course, is one of our actors. That's Martina.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how common a name Nascimento is.
Okay, it could be like
Brazil, but
John or Smith.
It could be Smith, or it could be, Johnson or whatever.
So here's one thing I really love about this.
Yes.
In terms of how the direction and the editing of this.
Yeah.
We just came off a minute 21. It was just bang, 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 right? The chase. Mm-hmm. This is the breather in the midst of the chaos.
Right.
Because right now, the first 15 seconds of this minute is only like 2 or 3 shots. It's some slow pans and pullbacks.
Probably that was a crane.
Right.
I imagine they use it because they did nice. It goes right from street level all the way up, so we can see the bottling plant that we should recognize from earlier on.
So like this minute is actually, there's not a lot that happens for the most part, because
it's setting things up.
This is where you exhale.
Yeah.
Because it's all about to go really bad. Not in this minute.
Not in this minute.
But it's all about to happen. And I really like this because I think this shows a lot of restraint on the direction to say, okay, pace ourselves.
Yeah.
Because of what's coming.
Could have cut right to in the locker room, and then the guys are there.
Exactly.
Like
you could have you could have kept this incessant pace, and then it doesn't. Honestly, I think this is so necessary in telling of this particular moment in the film, because you want to have a bigger impact when it all goes crazy, and this is why it has even a bigger impact, because you have this moment.
Yeah,
and they do. I will say, like, you go into a whole thing of filmmaking, Marvel does this really well. They've continued to do this very well. Where you've got this, even if you look at Endgame, Infinity War, and all the movies that are yet to come, those great, big, powerful, action-packed moments are not because it doesn't let up. There's these actually are these quieter moments that give you some pacing on that.
Yeah, and seeing the characters make the decisions.
Exactly.
That's a big thing. Yeah, so we get the Softs get run up to the thing, and they are baffled by a padlock. This is a master padlock, open shackle type, 7/16 shackle height. I don't know if any of that's true, right? I looked it up just to see what locks were like in 2007, so yeah, probably is.
Well, I love the way, I do actually really love, I have in my notes, I have confounded by a lock. Like, all the thugs are like, they run and you see him grab the chain and he's like, oh, but if it were not for this little padlock.
And it's likely they either saw him duck in, or like as he's looking through the gate that he sees him sort of duck around a corner and everything. We don't see them see him, but chances are that's what happens.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Emil, who's up at the top of the thing. So he already we know Emil Blonsky is a notorious animal hater, and here he cruelly shoves some caged birds out of his way, disrupting their sleep. I mean,
oh, not the birds,
yeah,
too.
I know, the birds too. Man, how much does he establish this guy is a bad guy? So we see him getting the eagle eye position up here to look down and try and.
He takes the high ground, which he does frequently.
Ground,
yes,
as we know from Star Wars.
Yes.
He's going to win because he has the high ground.
This is true.
As he looks down and then he sees one of the toughs. I believe he sees Nick in the yellow shirt ducking through the thing, and so he knows that they were chasing him too. I guess from earlier on. Interesting from the commentary, I learned that while they were up there shooting, someone took a shot at poor Tim Roth.
What?
He was standing up at the top of this Eagles. There's like a whoosh, and he was like, "What was that?" They're like. Yeah, it looks like someone just fired a weapon at you. He's like, okay, I'm coming down now. Like, just some random person on the street was like, hey,
okay.
There's a guy.
So
up there.
one, understanding the area and understanding the world.
Yes.
Okay, not totally surprising, horrifying, but
yeah,
not
exactly.
totally
like the
surprising.
fella is a fairly rough neighborhood.
Right.
I mean, I'm not one to cast disparity, but I think people can say it's a pretty it's hard to police. Let's say.
But let's just say this though: you're an actor. Of any kind, even if you're not at the caliber of Tim Roth, right? You're in the production of a show of this location shot. You get shot at, right? And thank God I've never been shot at. You've never been shot at. I'm sure people who've been shot at know that you know when you've been shot at, right? Yeah. Do you not go, hey, so we're done here, and green screen?
Yeah,
we're just going to green screen.
This is why I have a stand-in, right?
We're done.
Bring Patrick up here. Let him do the stuff for me. I'll be in my trailer.
Because there's,
bulletproof trailer.
What do you do?
Right. Oh, I know, right? I mean, for God's sake, by this point in the production, Tim Roth had already almost been run over by a motorcycle, shooting the scenes in the middle, and had been hit in the face with a chunk of flying wood.
With shrapnel, right? We talked about this.
So he has really put in, and he hasn't even met the Hulk yet.
Oh, Mr. Roth, our hats off to you. Way to go.
He sees him on there, and then there's a communication between him and Ross. So Ross screaming, "Where is he?" And then Emil saying, "Target acquired." So that's when he sees the toughs going into the bottling plant, so they know where that is now. So now the commandos can rally and head in there. So we see it now. Bruce is in the locker room that we saw from earlier on, near his own locker. It looks like if you go by the number of things there. And he stops and he's trying to do the breathing control. But now we're at 187.
His heart rate is up to 187.
That's right.
And we know what 187 means.
We do know what 187 means. It's the California Penal Code for murder.
This is bad.
This is bad. 187 on the undercover cop.
Now, do you when you're doing this?
I know.
The commentary didn't say anything about this, right?
No, it didn't. No.
The production designer.
I think numbers are fun.
Yeah, right. Like someone just like, I love that Samuel Jackson movie, right? 187, right?
Yeah, right.
I love 187.
Yeah.
Make it 187. Or are we just trying to get closer to that magic?
Yeah,
200 number?
That's the thing is, if this is CG, it's pretty good CG because they do these close-ups of the watch. So do they actually get into the watch and manage to do whatever number they wanted?
Is that a practical? Well, because
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering.
Probably do something easy where you.
Sure, that could be a stunt arm.
Yeah. Well, or you do something even with an LCD screen and you have it blink 187. I'm sure you got to do that.
Yeah.
Or it's CG, but I don't even know if you'd want to even do that. I wonder. Yeah, I haven't seen anything on how.
Yeah, I haven't either. I haven't even seen no. There's no behind the scenes documentaries about the making of the watch.
We haven't found a prop watch.
I did find this watch for sale though.
See, it's an actual monitor, right? We've talked about that, right? Oh boy. So we head back closer and further into the bottling plant. We see that people in the shadows.
That's right.
And of course, shadows.
Mm-hmm. It's a big thing here.
Well, but this is also, you can see the storyboard people and the story writers as we're getting closer to what is the big reveal in the next minute of the Hulk.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing for the effects to not only just, you make your effects people a little bit happier when you have shadows they can use.
Yeah, it's
but you know, obviously this all plays into that and also plays into the reveal that's coming. So kind of interesting to see how this is all lurching towards what we're getting
That's
to.
right. So yeah, Bruce is getting his heartbeat under control, and then we hear in the shadows from Pedro, Gringo.
Oh, that's
like, and then the heart rate shoots right back up again. And as you mentioned before, we have now transitioned back to Vancouver. So all the stuff from here on out of them is all from the Vancouver set. So everything. This is what's great is that everything in here was all set dressing. I mean, they had brought everything in here, so very little of this was actually in the plant when they go down there. So then as we see the tough guys are circling around trying to get close to them, then the commandos also enter the plant, weapons drawn, ready to go. So the noose is even tighter now. We're getting they're getting all three different groups are getting closer and closer together. Bruce being a group in itself because he's two people.
Oh, nice! I like that.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the three of them. So that as they close in and they almost on top of him, that's where a minute ends.
But that was it.
That's it. Just circling closer, building tension because you know something's about to happen. You bought your ticket to a movie called Incredible Hulk. You haven't seen him yet.
I don't know, maybe he takes one of our advices. Maybe he just sort of finds a pallet to hide inside, and then that's it.
And just drinks Pingo Dose as he waits for them to clear out.
And everybody leaves.
Right.
That's not what happens.
You know, this could very easily turn into like a Sprite commercial for Pingo Dose, as like they come around the corner and there he is, like sitting there, like, "Hey guys, how about enjoying a Pingo Dose with me?"
That's not what happens.
It's not what happens.
You'll have to tune in.
Spoiler.
Yeah, definitely.
What does happen? You have to find out minute 23 of the Incredible Hulk. So, if you are in a social media kind of mood, we are over on the Facebook. Oh,
Who's not? Who's not in a social media kind of mood?
I know, right? It's like it's media, it's socializing. What's
could go
the
wrong?
downside of that?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong with that? We're over on Facebook. Our group is called. Are you ready for this? Get a pencil. The Marvel Movie Minute and the Next Reel Film Podcast Executive Lounge. Oh, yes, that's right. It's the Marvel Movie Minute and the Next Reel Film Podcast Executive Lounge. You can find it over at facebook.com/group/thenextreel, which is a lot easier to remember than Marvel Movie Minute and the Next Reel Film Podcast Executive Lounge. We don't name it. We just exist in it.
And executively.
Executively.
That's right. Lounge.
That's right. Come be an executive in our lounge.
All right.
Smoking not allowed. Hope you had a smashing good time. Thanks for listening. Until next time, true believers.
Bye.